Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, fellow Americans, or anywhere in the I don't know where I was going with that one. So we're gonna get to it today because I kind of want to do a few movies that are just like VHS finds. The other night, I hooked up my VHS player. I haven't had my VHS hooked up since I moved. So it's been over a year, and I'm like, yo, I kind of want to just like watch some VHS movies and live that nostalgic life, you know what I mean? So there's a few VHSs that like I have that you like can't get anywhere else, or you can't find like on a different medium, like DVD, or you can find it on DVD, but at that point I might as well just stay watching a VHS. I also don't understand the whole craze of VHS. There is a bit of a boom with it. It's like vinyl. People are like, oh, I love vinyl. At least like vinyl, like it sounds better on vinyl. You're getting an uncompressed version via CD or digital, but VHS, like it just generally looks like shit. And like there's no like way around it, so kind of confused why people are like, yeah man, VHS. And like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of VHSs, you know, I got them here. Or the first one we're going to talk about is Kiss's, yes, the band Kiss. They made a movie, and it's Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park from 1978 is a cult classic TV movie that stars the iconic rock band Kiss in their acting debut. It was produced by Hanna-Barbera and aired on NBC, combining rock music, superhero antics, and campy sci-fi themes. The movie has gained a following due to its mix of unintentional humor, cheesy special effects, and its unique place in rock and television history. The last time I saw this movie, I remember my buddy from back home, Matt, shout out, I believe because his dad and even Matt and I used to just be like huge Kiss fans. I mean, I don't know if they still are. I honestly, I was cringing rewatching this movie, and not because of the movie sets, but just because of like Kiss the band. I just can't get into it anymore. They have some bangers, don't get me wrong. But we watched this movie, the last time I watched it was probably with him, like middle school, maybe high school. And I remember watching it at his house, and just being like, what crack cocaine situation is this movie? Because it just makes no sense whatsoever. The film is set in an amusement park where Kiss is set to perform a series of concerts. However, the park's engineer, Abner Devereux, becomes unhinged when the park's management begins to favor entertainment acts over his beloved robotic creations. Seeking revenge, Devereux develops animatronic duplicates of Kiss and other characters to sabotage the band's concert and ultimately take control of the park. Kiss, portrayed as a band of superheroes with mystical powers, must battle Devereux and his robotic creations to save the day and prevent the park from descending into chaos. It's kind of funny, like watching older movies and then seeing what's going on today and just seeing like, whoa, like people called this shit years ago before Elon Musk wanted to make robots, or just even just like AI happening. It's a crazy time we live in. Everybody just go watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park for your education these days. The film presents the members of Kiss as larger-than-life superheroes with unique abilities tied to their stage personas. Gene Simmons, the Demon, breathes fire. Paul Stanley, Starchild, shoots laser beams from his eye. Ace Frehley, Spaceman, can teleport and has super strength. And Peter Criss, Catman, possesses feline agility. I'm just thinking about this movie, dude. It's so batshit crazy. It's so ridiculous. The movie was widely panned by critics upon release, and even by the band members themselves, who later described it as a low point in their career. However, its quirky charm and the sheer novelty of seeing Kiss fight robots have endeared it to fans, turning it into a cult classic. What actually made me want to do a video on this movie was because not too long ago, Gala Avery has a podcast, I forget honestly what the podcast it's called. It's this one. There was a guest that was on there talking about this movie, and I was like, oh my God, like I kind of forgot about this movie. So I wanted to just like revisit the movie because me and my friend watched this movie when we were kids. I don't think that there's necessarily like a cult following for this movie. I don't think many people even know this movie exists. But let's get into some rare trivia and see what's up here. Members of Kiss were dissatisfied with the final product, feeling that it did not align with their image as serious rock musicians. They have often spoken of the movie with disdain, with Gene Simmons calling it a disaster in later interviews. Was Kiss ever taken as like serious rock musicians? I mean that in the nicest way. I don't mean to be a dick. So one of the funniest things about this movie is that there's Ace Frehley's stunt double. So Ace Frehley is clearly a white dude. Ace Frehley's stunt double in this movie is very clearly a black dude. It's just like, what the fuck? During production, Ace Frehley's role was sometimes filled by an African-American stunt double, which led to continuity errors and humorously obvious mismatches in certain scenes. So Hanna-Barbera, known from like, you know, Scooby-Doo, the Jetsons, Flintstones, they are known for animated television. However, Hanna-Barbera's involvement brought a campy, cartoonish feel to the movie. This influence is evident in the exaggerated fight scenes, comic book style powers, and simplistic dialogue. When you watch this movie, it's kind of crazy how much this feels like a Scooby-Doo episode. That's literally what this movie feels like. And like, I mean, unfortunately at the end, they're not really like ripping off a mask and be like, oh, you know, I could have got away and done it without you kids as well, you know? But it's real. When watching it the other night, I was just like, I'm having so much fun watch this movie just because it feels like a Scooby-Doo episode. And there actually is, I think, a Scooby-Doo Kiss movie. And I wonder if that was like their like redo. Like, hold on, guys, we made this really bad movie in the 70s. Let's redo it with Scooby-Doo. So it actually just comes off silly.
Kid stuff.
The film featured songs from Kiss's catalog, including Rock and Roll All Night and Beth. Some of the music recorded for the film included variations and remixes, with certain tracks only appearing in this production and not on studio albums. There was a few moments where music was playing where I was like, what song is this? I was like, this song's actually a banger. Like, I'd go and listen to this song, but I just gave up and didn't care to like look up what the song was. During filming, it was reported that the cast and crew found it difficult to work with the heavy makeup worn by the band. This makeup was essential to Kiss's identity, but it complicated filming, especially in scenes with bright studio lights. I could totally see that. Like, I mean, Kiss is obviously known for their makeup. It would kind of be weird if this movie was done without their makeup on. I also kind of don't understand. I mean, it was 1978 when this movie came out, so maybe they filmed it in 1977. I don't know. Or maybe it was just high demand. We gotta get this Kiss movie out. How can you not light this properly? Unless like the lighting was like making the makeup like melt, totally makes sense. That would like not melt, but like that's just weird. Just like but just like runny and constantly having to do you know, makeup check and stuff, which always halts a production because we gotta do final check, last looks, or whatever they say. I guess that's understandable. One thing that I do really enjoy about this movie, just because I was recently at Six Flags for their Fright Fest situation, which also a really fun time. If you live in the California area, I had a blast. If that's around next year, you should probably go do it. Anyway, this movie was filmed at Six Flags, so when I was just there, I was totally looking at it like I always like know it as like that's Wally World, that's from National Lampoon's Vacation. But now like when watching the movie the other night, the Kiss movie the other night, I was like, oh, interesting. Like, this is definitely not going to be just Wally World to me anymore. This is now Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Despite its initial reception, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park has become a time capsule of 1970s pop culture and an essential part of Kiss lore. The movie is now viewed with a mix of humor and affection, embodying the glitz, glam, and bizarre ventures that marked the peak of Kiss's popularity. It is remembered for its campy charm, serving as a reminder of an era when rock bands could be superheroes, even if it's just for one night at an amusement park. Like, this movie would be a lot of fun to watch with a group of friends at home or in a theater that just is having a blast with it. But other than that, yeah, this one will stay on the shelf for a while. I don't think I'll be revisiting this one anytime soon. But that's it for today's movie. Gonna be quick and easy and out for Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. What a title. What a movie. If you haven't seen this one, I think you could probably like find it on YouTube. Here and there. I found it on YouTube to revisit. But yeah, check it out, and maybe we'll do this again. We probably will. I should probably just stop saying that, but I don't know, maybe we'll do this again.